Madras to Chennai. On the outside, it seems magnificent. With urbanization and industrial revolution, our city has definitely developed. We may have gained a lot, but we also lost a lot. The mighty Cooum, that was a savior to many during its prime time, is the center of jokes today. Madras is a treasure trove of unlimited stories waiting to be discovered. Come, let's know about some historical moments in this beautiful city.
There was a time when I was glorious. Everyone loved and worshipped me. Look at my state now. What? You do not believe me? Come, let me show you.
Good morning, everyone. You have turned into facts only, where we give you nothing but gossip. I'm kidding. I'm news reporter Deeksha.
And I'm reporter Abraham. I'm very happy to accompany Miss Deeksha for this show. In today's show, we have wonderful guests joining us to discuss the topic: restoration projects, success or a failure.
You might be thinking, what's a restoration project? Well, we don't have the answers.
What she means to say is that we will be asking qualified people in the panel for giving us more information. Why don't we get started with the people who worked on one of the city's big restoration projects, our restoration project officers.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute honor to be here talking to you all. I would like to thank my school teachers for making me the person I am today.
Sir, first time on TV?
Yes, anyways, restoration is the process of rebuilding something back to its old or former state. So when we undertake projects where we aim at, say, restoring rivers, buildings, etc., we call it a restoration project. Well, my friend here, Rakesh, and I worked on one together.
Yes, we did. Many years back in 2005, the Rayapuram station building was restored. Restoration has been my business for all my life and...
Yes, you heard him. Restoration is just a business for these people. I was a resident of Rayapuram. All of this is such a waste of money.
Imagine how many packets of biryani we could have gotten with that money. Sorry, all I'm saying is we could have done a lot with that money.
Sorry to cut your intellectual flow of thoughts, sir, but I am a historian who has been researching about Cooum River along with my squad here. So we could give you an idea about that. Lakshmi, will you?
Here it begins.
Sure, we all know that rivers play so many roles. They are responsible for irrigation, providing hydroelectric power, and even being a home to many creatures. And Cooum was no different once upon a time. But today, the name Cooum is always said mockingly because of the smell and the amount of garbage that we could see there.
Bit harsh but true. It still hurts.
In fact, Cooum was once a boat racing ground. Did you know that?
It's true, and they were legendary. Way better than the Olympics.
But today, it's highly toxic and non-potable.
Non-potable?
Non-potable water means water that cannot be used for drinking. But Cooum has been an important river in the history of Madras, lost in memory. During our research days, I remember learning about a stone which was discovered between Adayar and Cooum River, and which is now housed in Egmore Museum.
So fascinated about stone. I think you should go and sit in a museum instead of wasting your time.
It is not an ordinary stone, ma'am. It is proof for the human existence of Madras 2 million years ago. Let me tell you, there's a lot of history to unpack here. And it starts way back when the British ruled us. Our professor here would be able to tell us more, I believe. Of course, sir, one of the strongest British settlements in the 1600s was along with the Coromandel coast, the eastern plain of Tamil Nadu. So, Madras city was a very important settlement area for the British.
Naturally, as the city grew, the city became entirely dependent on two rivers, the Costas Talayar and the Cooum rivers.
Ah, I remember those days. Trees all around and clean air. I know it seems too unreal, but it was real.
We depend on our rivers alone. Why can't we ask the neighboring states?
Sir, please use your brain.
Sir, this is not a school science experiment. Some studies also show that the construction of a particular dam is the first reason for Cooum state today. I don't quite remember the name of the dam. Some Kesari.
Someone said Kesari? No, the dam's name is Kesavaram.
Ah, the trauma.
It was constructed for the needs of water supply and operated in 1942. From this dam, the water was connected to a reservoir. This was the source of water back then for the entire city, and because of that, Cooum's flow had lost its strength.
Ah, that's an important point. Apart from the Kesari, of course. I request Mr. Venkatesh and Miss Krishna to tell us more about the historical significance of the river that they have wrote in his book as well. Sir, if you could give us all free copies. I'm kidding. I ordered it, sir, though it was more than I could afford.
Sure, did you know that a very important and huge battle took place right next to our coordinates? It is called as the Battle of Takolam. It involved the Chola kings. You will also see Chola inscriptions in the temple along the river.
Well, that was an epic battle. You think Bahubali's battle was good? You should have seen the Battle of Takolam.
Yes, and not just that, most of the important buildings forts the George University of Madras, Ripon building, all were built on the banks of this river. In fact, the banks of Cooum have also witnessed the first Ranji Trophy match.
Oh my god, Ranji Trophy won?
Calling it cool would be an understatement.
I remember reading their book and I was particularly fascinated by the story about the team of researchers who discovered that the river had a dedicated religious text, the Kuvapuranam, where villages and temples which were within a 1 kilometer radius from the river were documented.
Really a beautiful time. God, the nostalgia sitting in.
There's also the story of a Brahmins princess who was born in what is currently the Women's and Children's Hospital on the banks of Cooum. This hospital was built by the chief doctor himself, and the East Brahmins king was on a stopover here before going on his exile to Ratnagari.
Even Tipu Sultan's sons were exiled on the banks of Cooum, in Downton House on College Road when their father lost the Anglo-Mysore War. Tipu had defeated the British a few years prior on the same banks, but his sons were exiled there.
There are numerous such stories that bring out Coom's historical significance.
Legend says that when Lord Shiva was assigned to kill 3 Asuras, he forgot to pay obeisance to Lord Ganesha. This resulted in a punishment where Lord Shiva's chariot toppled. As he tried to regain balance, the Kashira river gushed out from the point where Lord Shiva placed his bow. As the river rose to wash Lord Shiva's feet from beneath the ground, later named as Pali, from the name Palar, later known as the Holy Cooum. Did you hear that? That's me. What have I become now? I wash Shiva's feet, but now what people do is make fun of me.
Yes, and you may not believe this, but bathing on the Cooum was believed to help free from the cycle of birth and death. This is fascinating history of this river and the reason why restoration of this river is important.
Babe, people don't even want to come near me nowadays.
Miss Sudha and Miss Suma, would you like to talk about the spiritual significance of Cooum?
Of course, the 72-kilometer long Cooum does not only flow through Chennai, it also flows through lush green villages untouched by city life. Mythologically, Cooum originates from its Cooum village, and the most important temple near it is the Tarkata Amman temple, which is the guardian deity of the village. The story about Lord Shiva that Mr. Venkatesh was talking about is from the temple of Tirupateswara. It is here that Cooum washed Shiva's feet. There is also evidence of Buddha's presence here. A Buddha statue was recovered from this place recently. Yes, there are many such temples along the banks, and each one has a beautiful story.
Fascinating. We also have with us Miss Padmapriya and Mr. Shashwat, members of the project The Cooum. That was really fascinating to hear. But I must say, it's not possible to restore Cooum if there's not enough water in it. It needs enough water to wash off the dirt.
The first ever restoration project was actually under the British. The river is actually clean till Tiruverkad. The need of our is better treatment and facilities with more capacity.
It's also equally important to spread awareness and educate people. For no restoration project shall be completely successful unless its people learn to treat their water bodies with respect.
Very true. The river has given us so much and we need to realize its significance.
What a life I've had. I guess it's time for me to leave. I have bored you enough anyways with my sad life story.
We would like to end with an important question. Yes, we spent a lot of money restoring the old, but why did we get to this stage in the first place?
We always have to leave it too late. It's important we safeguard the spirit of our city, which is represented by the buildings and river. So next time you inflict damage on a wall, throw garbage in a river or turn a blind eye to all this, think twice about what they once were and what they could be.
We would like to end the discussion here now. Facts only. We will be back with another hot topic. But before that, a big thank you to all the panelists here to share their knowledge. To honor your participation, we have arranged Kesari for all.
Are you kidding? Well, that was pretty deep. Who would have thought that our Chennai has so much hidden inside it? Our poor Cooum. Imagine how she must be feeling from such a glorious beginning to its sad current state. We have so much more to discover. These buildings and rivers have seen civilization since its beginning. Next time when you go outside, listen to all historical stories it offers.